What a worthiness issue is just someone who misunderstands how the laws of the universe work. And so they are not getting what they want, and so they think something's wrong with them. They're just looking for love in all the wrong places. Or they're just not understanding that they are vibration. Or, do you know what the dominant reason for anyone who has a worthiness issue is? They have plenty of negative emotion and they're willing to put up with it. And the only reason that anybody would be willing to put up with negative emotion is because they don't know where it comes from or why they've got it. So you could cure unworthiness in a few minutes with anybody, with everyone, if you could just convince them that the reason that they feel that feeling of unworthiness is because Source is rooting for them and they are rooting against themselves. But it's just a habit of thought. It's just a habit of talking in opposition to what you want. That's all that it is. When you talk in opposition to what you want, you hold yourself at vibrational discord. So what you want can't come. And then you make up all kinds of really weird stuff to explain why it isn't coming to you, when there isn't any reason that anything you want isn't coming to you, other than the fact that you keep noticing that it isn't coming to you. You can't care that it isn't there. You've got to find a way to feel good even though it isn't there, and then it will be there. If you could see yourself as a transmitter, first you have to accept that this is a vibrational universe and that it is the translation of vibration that is happening. Even when you see something, it's a translation of vibration. So everything is translating vibration. Vibrations are all being managed by law of attraction. You get what you think about. In other words, these are just the basic precursory things that must be understood by anyone. When you focus upon what you want and it feels good, there's no split in your vibration. And if you can manage to stay with no split in that vibration just for a little while, manifestations will occur to you. So the way we teach worthiness to people who are having a problem with it is by helping them to find some subject that they don't have a pattern of negative thought about, long enough to get it active in their experience. And then we say, watch for that. The universe is going to bring you evidence of this. And when it comes, acknowledge that you accomplished that. We have some very short questions for you, and they are very easy answers. But the unfolding of these answers within you is going to create within you a vibrational pattern that is going to make it easy for you to understand the things that we will then say. So, do you accept that you are more than this physical body? Do you have some sense that this physical body matters in some way? So, would you even say that you accept that you are here for a reason? Do you believe that you have some measurable control over your own experience? Do you believe that action is part of that? Do you believe that there is something even also, we won't say more quite yet, something other than action that is responsible for what happens in your experience? Do you believe that you came with the intention of having choices about your life experience? Do you think that your life experience has served you well in helping you to discover what you like and don't like about this experience? Do you believe that you have a reasonable ability to focus your thoughts? When you focus on something for a little bit of time, can you feel something that we are describing as momentum? Can you feel can you feel momentum? Can you feel the difference between contentment and elation in terms of momentum? Can you feel the difference between frustration and rage? So you can explain momentum through your emotions. Does it feel logical to you that when you focus upon something and have a feeling response to it, that there is some power in that? Can you feel when there's more momentum in a thought and when there is less momentum in a thought? Does it feel logical to you that a more momentous thought would have more power, more manifesting power? Does it feel logical that it also would have more feeling to it, which is manifestation also? Does it seem logical that if you are consistently offering thoughts about what you want and not offering contradiction about it, that more momentum about what you want would occur and there would be more emotion about it. Does it seem logical that if you're focused upon something unwanted and you've been doing it for a while and there's quite a bit of momentum gathered about it, does it seem logical that you could all of a sudden stop thinking that thought? Does it seem logical that you could do it in the earlier subtle stages? Does it seem logical to you that in this evolution of thought, in this evolution of vibration all the way to manifestation, that once something has occurred that you're feeling strong emotion about, does that feel like quite a bit of momentum has happened? So here's vibration and here's the manifestation of emotion phase. Still quite a long way from the car parked in the garage. As you are focused upon this emotional manifestation, does it feel to you that you can discern the difference in stronger momentum and faster momentum and slower momentum? Does it seem logical to you that if you are sensitive to your vibration, in other words, if you care about how you feel, does it feel logical to you that when that emotion begins and it feels a little off to you, that if you could change your focus right then and there, that you could keep that momentum from taking hold? Because we want to say to you, once strong negative momentum is underway, and to the point that you're feeling strong negative emotion, you are very short before you're going to be to a manifestation that you don't like. Does that play out in your own experience that you've lived? And in like manner, when strong positive emotion is experienced, it's a very short time span between full manifestation playing out. So does it feel logical to you that if you keep finding yourself in an emotional place or a fully manifested place that you don't want to be, that the solution to that is just care more about how you feel and catch it at the earlier subtle stages? Don't wait until you're into anger or into an experience that is negative and then try to do the work. That's not the time to do the work. That's the time to take a nap. That's the time to use any form of distraction that you can. That's the time to move yourself as best as you can away from the condition that seems to be the inspiration for the strong negative emotion. Sometimes the easiest path of least resistance is to move yourself away from the condition that keeps being the inspiration for the negative emotion. Does that make sense to you? Path of least resistance says when you're taking a path somewhere, do you get on the highway that is the bumpiest? Oh yes, I think I will get on this bumpy road. I think I will get on this really bumpy road. Why? Because I want to prove my worthiness. I want to prove my ability to endure the things that don't feel good. Isn't it interesting how this all ties together? It's like you're trying to prove that you're tough enough to endure the things that you do not want. And this has nothing to do with path of least resistance. Path of least resistance says, make yourself comfortable. Path of least resistance says, do anything and everything that you can to hold yourself in the vibrational frequency of feeling good. Because it is only when you feel good that you're in the vibrational frequency that allows you to be the translator of the things that are good to you. You see what we're getting at? Do you feel how that all ties together? If you care about how you feel, you might make one decision. If you care about how somebody else is perceiving it, you're likely to make another decision. And so many of you have been trained to provide the service for the others. So you disregard the early subtle stages. You disregard it even when the stages get bolder. You disregard it, you endure it, you buck up, you persevere, you push through, and then you wonder why things aren't going as well as you'd like it to. And we say, because you've practiced suffering. You've practiced suffering. You've practiced becoming vigilant and valiant and tough. You've practiced ignoring your guidance system. You've been practicing the path of most resistance for a really long time. And then when you get to some place that you don't want to be, then you say, oh, well, I'll just do a focus wheel. I'll do a process. And we say, make it easier early on. Take the path of least resistance. If something doesn't feel good to you, Don't turn the television program on that upsets you, and don't call the person that is unpleasant to talk to, and don't spend your time doing things that don't feel good. Give yourself the vibrational opportunity to connect with who you really are and then move forward. And what you're going to begin to discover is the more you clean up your vibration, there are going to be people around you that say, hey, I haven't been seeing as much of you. And say, I know. Because it's easier for me to love you from a distance. And loving you is what I want more than life itself, because it is life itself, you see. And so once you decide that you're going to care about how you feel, what's going to begin to happen is you're going to click into that broader perspective, and then worthiness just becomes a non-issue.